We often hear the expression that reality surpasses fiction, a claim supported by many. However, others argue that human imagination is the primary engine of creation. Ultimately, humans are captivated by tales and horror stories that challenge their fear resistance and invite them to explore the limits of bravery. From the legendary Chupacabra to the iconic Frankenstein, these creatures inhabit the nightmares of both adults and children. The legend of the werewolf has captured the attention of both the curious and researchers over centuries. Fascinating books have been written about werewolves, adding to the aura of magic and mystery surrounding this figure. However, delving into the foundational aspects of the matter, we encounter explanations closely related to the workings of the human mind, offering the most plausible explanation for the origin of the werewolf. According to science, lycanthropy is a type of disorder or fantasy in which the affected person imagines transforming into a wolf, even mimicking the characteristic howls of the animal. The term lycanthropy comes from the ancient Greek language, meaning wolfman. Additionally, there exists a mental illness that can manifest temporarily or permanently, called lycanthropy, where the affected person believes they are or have transformed into some type of animal. This disorder was described by Marcellus of Sidon during the 2nd century as a form of melancholy. Over time, thanks to observations of the striking effects of full moon nights on human behavior, the famous legend of the werewolf evolved and spread worldwide, acquiring various forms and versions. The werewolf legend coincides on one crucial aspect. The transformation, associated with a curse, always occurs during full moon nights. During this time, it is said that the person becomes a being with distinctive and revealing physical traits, such as joined eyebrows over the bridge of the nose, curved and sharp nails, drooping ears, hair covering the body, and a swaying walk. This transformation can be caused by the direct effect of the full moon, a curse, the bite of another werewolf, or even a hereditary condition. Moreover, according to the legend, a method to identify the werewolf in human form would be to cut the flesh, revealing hair beneath the skin in the wound. In general terms, the werewolf legend describes a person who, influenced by the full moon, transforms their human appearance into that of a wolf-like creature. However, throughout history, some truly remarkable cases have emerged. Let's explore some of the most prominent ones. The tribe of the Nuri. The legend of the werewolf includes the curious case of the Nuri tribe, mentioned in the writings of Herodotus. According to history, this group residing north of Scythia was cursed and transformed into wolves once a year for several days before returning to human form. The story of King Lycaon. Another notable episode in the origin of the werewolf and its legends is the story of King Lycaon. This narrative dates back to the 2nd century BC when the Greek geographer Pausanias documented this tale. A widely spread version of the myth tells that King Lycaon of Arcadia was transformed into a werewolf as punishment for sacrificing a child on the altar of Zeus. The Gondilan clan. Among the most significant and notorious cases related to the werewolf legend were recorded in the Free County of Burgundy, close to Switzerland, between 1521 and 1643. In just 2 years, this European locality saw a lynching and 9 trials, including the most well-known incident involving the Gondilan family, whose members were all burned alive. The case of Peter Stump. Another milestone in the werewolf legend is the gruesome case of Peter Stump. This occurred in Germany in the distant year of 1589. Near the city of Cologne, Mr. Peter Stump of Bedburg was executed for being the perpetrator of carnivorous acts, with a record of devouring 60 victims per day. The case of Manuel Blanco Romasanta. Later, in Spain itself, the region of Galicia had its own werewolf, Manuel Blanco Romasanta. This was a lycanthrope who, when tried, attributed the symptoms of the disease to a terrible curse cast upon him by his mother-in-law, as well as to having lived among wolves for many years. The case of Damarco de Pareja. Another singular case that stands out in the werewolf legend is that of Damarco de Pareja. According to the story, this individual transformed into a werewolf after consuming the entrails of a sacrificed human child in honor of Zeus. However, he would return to his human form a decade later, if he managed to abstain from consuming human flesh. The case of the Breton man. Continuing with stories related to the origin of the werewolf and some of the most astonishing cases recorded in history, one of the best known is that of the Breton man, whose story is narrated in the poem Besclavret by Marie de France. According to the tale, the man transformed into a werewolf every week and could return to his human form using specific clothing. However, his wife betrayed him by stealing these garments. As a result, the man remained trapped in his wolf form for a long time, until the king cornered him during a hunt. Despite being in wolf form, the man still retained the ability to speak and begged the king for mercy. Impressed by the creature's abilities, the monarch brought him to the palace. There, the werewolf confronted his wife, but the king intervened and interrogated her. During the interrogation, the truth was revealed. The king forced the wife of the Breton man to return his clothes, and thus he was able to regain his human form. While science vehemently denies it, the mysteries of the werewolf legend continue to be passed down.